Good afternoon. Yeah. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the second match of the day. That is UCU up against Kcb-Nkumba. This is an interesting match. As we already see, the scores are at 7-7. Kcb-Nkumba comes into this match without a loss since the start of the season. And UCU is still trying to maintain their better play. They are showing up this first half of the season, but they come from a loss of 3-2 up, which was against Spotes, but it was a very, very good play from them. And now they face the champions, Kcb-Nkumba. Let's see how this game will go, but it will be an interesting game. I believe both teams will really fight to their best, and we still see some missing faces on the Kcb-Nkumba team, the likes of Hadija. I think they are both Hadijas, the setter and the receiver attacker. But Nkumba still calls back some of the players that have been missing. We see Dina is on. She has been constant in the previous fixtures of KCB, and she's still trying to fit in the team and also play her best out of the break she had taken. UCU is in the lead, scores at 10-9. UCU is appearing in the white and black jersey, and Kcb-Nkumba appears in the yellow and the red shorts. That's a very, very good block from the center blocker of UCU, joined by by the side blocker, that is Alado. And UCU extends their lead to 2 points. 11-9 is the score. Service from Evers, but that goes out wide. And it gives Kcb-Nkumba a free point. Very nice pass from Praise. Ball into the middle. The ball was too close to her, but she couldn't maintain that ball in the air. I guess that was not the concentration. Nice service, not the very best pass from Praise, but then that is a free ball to Kcb-Nkumba, and the ball is set out to. The defense is still working for UCU. We see actually this time around UCU has actually made adjustments in their defense. It is doing quite better both in the net and the backcourt, and I think that is one of the things that is giving them a very good play and giving other teams challenges, because their defense has stepped up. They used to defend so well in the back court, on the back zone, and the net defense was always lacking because of the heights of the players they used to have. But nowadays we see Coach Juma went with slightly taller players, and the defense on the net has actually improved. Like we can see a very, very easy block from the UCU center blocker. That shows you that perhaps this season will be a very good season for them, because their defense is much, much better off than the previous seasons. A very, very nice service comes in from the UCU opposite. That is And that is the first time out by Kcb-Nkumba as UCU extends the lead to 4 points, which stands at 16-12. We see UCU is very determined in this set. They are doing everything possible to be able to pick the first set of the game, which I think will be an advantage to the UCU team. Very good service comes in, and that's a dump from the center blocker. And it actually now gives KCB the chance to get into service. And that is a service loss still by Bridget from the KCB side, which keeps UCU in the lead, and KCB trying to close up the gap, being a little bit of a challenge. And the scores still stand at 17-13. We see a substitution coming in. Tracy comes on for service. She is one of those consistent servers. She comes in for Novlin. By Novlin, the last game we watched against Sportes, she was one of the best servers in that game, and her service gave a very big challenge to the Sportes side. But this time around, we see Coach Juma opts for a substitution to bring in a much more safer server who is Tracy, and she manages to serve that on, and then Kcb-Nkumba errors in the attack. That was an attack fault through the middle. Let's see, good service, not the very best pass from the libero, and the dump comes in but picked by Praise. And then it goes to Evers, who dumps outside. And now that takes KCB to service. And we see Scovia now goes into service. She's also one of those good servers of the KCB side. Today we see Evers playing middle with a position she started in way back in high school, and I think now Coach Juma decided to put her again into the middle, perhaps to increase the defense of the team and also increase on the offense of the UCU side. But that was a very nice swing from position 2, and that one closes up the gap for the Kcb-Nkumba side to 3 points. Scovia is still in service. Very nice service, a good pass, and the dump comes in, but well read by the libero. Again, blocked down, but the ball is kept alive by the Kcb-Nkumba side. And then the ball goes to Praise, he swings in. The referee calls netting. The ball had gone out, but the referee says there was a net fault by the Kcb-Nkumba players on the net. And still it gives the UCU the advantage of service, as we always say in the ladies volleyball, whoever is serving always has the advantage or stands the chance to make the point. Very nice service, but it's a good pass from Scovia, and not a very good set, but the ball is kept alive. Oh, it couldn't be kept in the play, and that still gives UCU now a 5 points lead. The scores are at 20-15. And we see Coach T asking the setter what is happening, why is the set going into the net, yet there is no pressure on the ball. Very good service. Sikora passes that ball, and that swing comes in, but the ball is hit down into the net. KCB seems to be losing focus, and they are making so many errors. And we see UCU is trying to capitalize on their errors. They are trying to give them the ball, but Nkumba is failing to utilize the balls, and somehow they're a little bit disorganized because we see a lot of dumping in the sets they get. Perhaps something is not connecting right with the setter and the attackers there. And that was the second time out for the Kcb-Nkumba team. Service from the UCU side. And still a very poor pass, and that was very easy for Evers to block down as the lead extends to 7 points. 22 for UCU and 15 for Kcb-Nkumba. We see a substitution now, Bridget coming out, and Jazen number 10, who is Hajara, comes in for the reception side. So she used to play as a libero at the Kampala University team, as she switched sides to the Kcb-Nkumba this season. And the swing comes in the middle by Nancy, and she manages to break that through and give the Kcb-Nkumba some breather, and that sends her into service. See, you see with 3 attackers front court, that is a very good option. The setters has options to take. Let's see what she chooses to go with. A very nice pass, and that goes to Praise. A very nice swing, but the block couldn't put that ball down, and that's a block out. And it is 23-16, and Praise goes to service, whereby we also know she's a very, very good server. She can harm you, and it is an advantage to UCU that they have such good servers towards the late of the game, or the end of the set. That was a very nice pick from the Libero, very well covered by the UCU Libero. Well played, but the ball is kept alive. Let's see what UCU uses it for. And Alado comes in with a swing, but that ball is out. I think she was too careful with that ball. Otherwise, she would have been able to swing very well on that ball and score for the UCU side. And Bridget comes in as Hajara gets out. She has done her role of receiving and covering the back zone, but now we need the defense on the net. That's why Bridget comes in now to provide that net defense in position 2. And then Alado comes in with a big swing on the line. Bridget couldn't put that on the ground, and it is a set point for the UCU team, standing at 17 for Kcb-Nkumba. Another substitution, Tracy comes out. She had come on earlier to serve for Novlin, and Novlin comes back to give that block on the net, since she's very tall and one of the reliable center blockers we've seen in these previous games UCU has been playing. Praise come with a swing, but it is a soft ball picked by the Ribeiro, and Bridget dumps that to score the point down into the middle of the court. UCU couldn't keep that ball alive. I don't know why the setter chose to go with the backcourt, yet she has 3 attackers in the front court, especially now with Daphne in position 2, whereby we know she's a very, very aggressive hitter and one of the most reliable players of the UCU side. And then she chooses to take that in the middle, but Novlin swings that out, where I think it is the set of UCU is trying out to play something that is quite different. Having Daphne and Alado in position 2 and 4 would be much better options to set that ball there than putting that ball into the middle. And then we see some lack of concentration from the UCU players now. The pressure is tending to mount high. Then now she chooses for Alado, very nice swing, but the ball is kept alive. And that will be a free ball going back to UCU, well picked by Praise. And she chooses to go to Daphne, a very big swing. And that ball goes for a touch. The second referee says there was a touch by the blockers. And that takes us to the end of the first set. And UCU wins it at 25-19. UCU clearly showing intent that they are very, very ready to take up the challenge from the Kcb-Nkumba side. And as they show that the first set they really needed it, and they've taken it, which is an advantage to them. We see Engineer Arthur through the comments saying, I think UCU is going away with this set and the game. Well, finally, yes, they've taken away the set, but we don't know yet about the game. Nkumba side is one of the teams that never gives up. We've seen them lose most sets at the start of the game, but they end up even winning the game 3-1. So let's see what UCU can do. Can they maintain the win of the first set and take it through to the second set and the third set? that is to them, and players for us we view from this other side. And George William Charles says, the set, yes. The game, well, too early to tell. That is very right, and I agree with you, George. It is too early to tell that the game is going to the ECE side. And soon I will be joined by Shamila in as we take you through this game. So anytime soon, she will be joining in as we wait for the second set to kick off.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm finally here, and we can see UCU having taken that first set away from KCB 25-19, and KCB starting off with the first point of this second set. Of course, KCB not on their usual strength that we've known them for as the defending champions, without some of their most crucial players, Habiba, Hadija, and Hadija, the setter as well. But I think they are trying to see how they can push themselves and work with the team that they have at this moment. But of course, UCU, having come from a very exciting game last weekend against Spotters, they I feel they have hope that they could actually win this game. So we'll see what effort they can put as well. Of course, you see also coming in without their other middle players that we know, Brenda not being there as well. But they are working with the middles that they are having in this moment. Ivas also playing in the middle today. And yeah, that's basically it. I know, Malik, you had already told them about all this stuff. Yeah, so
Yeah, we see actually in the comment section, Mark asks, where are these Hadija sisters of Nkumba? Well, we do not know. That goes to the Nkumba side. We are also asking ourselves, where are these sisters? We've seen the two Hadijas and Habiba miss about 3 games so far, but hopefully they get back into this side and we enjoy this Mikasa very well. We also see Engineer Mark saying KCB is not full board. Yeah, that is right. KCB is not full board, but as well as UC is also not full board. We see very many faces missing on both sides of the team. now they will have to use the other players they have on their squad to be able to clutch wins from this fixture here. And now we see KCB's Nkumba is leading this particular set at 3-2.
Yes, and they are having that service there. It's a good serve going to Alado. Tough pick for her. You see you can't contain it, and that ball just stays on their side. And KCB going to fall now. It's a tough serve, especially going after the receiver attacker.
Yeah, and that pass was really hard for the setter since she's really backcourt. Otherwise, if she was front court, she would have been able to dump that. And now she chooses to go into the middle for Novlin, but that was a very, very little easy attack which was picked up by the Nkumba side. And a very good block comes in from Scovia. And now that keeps Kcb-Nkumba into the lead, and it goes to 3. I have a feeling like now you see is a little bit relaxing. Depending on how they started the first set.
Yes, and
this set they are starting a little bit down.
Yes, and I see Alado, of course, struggling to take that ball over in 4. She's on the front court. Of course, the setter has 3 attackers, but she's trusting her several times, and that is a third error from her, consecutive. I think the setter needs to find a way to work with that, and she's having 3 attackers on the front court, so maybe she needs to see how to get a point quickly, because KCB seems to be having an impressive play, an impressive start so far for this set.
Yeah,
another
I
good
think
serve.
Her best options would be Daphne in position 2, because for her she's a very, very aggressive attacker. Like we can see now, that is a very, very hard swing on the line, and she passes on the block of Scovia and Nancy, which is not very easy because that is a very, very high block.
Yes, and of course it goes back to her being aggressive. She's looking for that point to give her team a break, and she gets it. And of course, being a good server, she still has a chance to make more scores in that service box. And it's a well picked ball, goes behind, big swing. Wonderful play there from Jennifer.
Yes. We see now she's trying to attack in the opposite zone.
Of course, now they are trying to find options to see how to cover that gap up. I saw in the first set she was not there playing as an opposite. We saw Dina being on court as a middle, and yes, so I think the coach has looked at that and decided to have her on, and she can swing. Of course, with the few games they've played without the other players, I think it was a chance for her to see how to adjust to that position.
Yeah, she has proved to be a versatile player, trying to play also middle and in that opposite position, and she has really delivered whenever she has been called up to, because she can attack both in 4 and position 2, and then through the middle. That is a very, very big advantage to the Kcb-Nkumba side.
Yes, Alado getting blocked there again, and KCB now pushing their lead to 6 points. I think Alado needs to find a way to go away from the block, or to find that ball to take it over to the other side. She's struggling, but this time it's a good pick from her. The setter chooses to go to Praise in the backcourt. It's a dump. It's a free ball this time. Oh, and there's a little bit of miscommunication there between Daphne and the setter. But I feel that that ball should have gone to Daphne. Yeah, Kundakwe and yeah. But I think the ball should have gone to the setter, to Daphne, because why would the setter be going to pick a free ball?
Yeah.
She's supposed to set.
Yeah, that is very right. The setter was supposed to run in, so that Daphne picks that. The Daphne in the opposite picks that free ball to her, as she tries to look out for the other options in the offense. But she stays so back to pick that high ball, and eventually it leads them to an error, and that forces the first time out for UCU.
Yeah, and of course UCU calling that timeout, looking for ways to catch up, because the things are not looking quite good for them in this set, and I think it's because they sort of relaxed a little bit at the beginning, having taken away the first set. So I think
they need to gain their momentum back up, because if they keep this low, it will be terrible for them. And if Kcb-Nkumba wins this set very, very comfortably, it will give them momentum into the next set, which will be a challenge for the UCU side.
Yes, and there goes another big swing coming in from Scovia, that attack.
I can't say maybe it was very big, but it hit the belt,
I,
and
I
it
I
was a
think
little
the
bit.
swing was big, but the
The
ball,
ball was soft.
no, the ball just touched the belt there, and you know how that tends to slow it down.
Yeah, KCB has some big physicality on the team, and I believe by the time they meet any opponent on the other side, they should be able to intimidate them and actually kill the game or finish the game before it even starts. And now we see still errors coming in from the ECU side, and that is a very, very big range, standing at 12-13.
Jocelyn having come on for Alado Patricia. There is an error from KCB, and UCU finally catches a break on this one. And it's going to be a chance for them to maybe get into that service box and see what they can do. And of course, Praise coming on the front court, that's an advantage because she's their best attacker so far. So if she comes onto the front court, maybe they have a chance to see how to get points.
And also, we need to see the set of UCU try to relieve some pressure off the receiver attackers, because I believe one of the reasons why UCU was not scoring is that the pressure was mounting so high on Alado. She was receiving, but then the setter kept forcing those balls to her, yet Daphne was out there not receiving, waiting for the ball to come to her to be able to score, but she couldn't do that, and that is
Yes.
an ace service.
Jocelyn, yeah, bringing in that ace service and of course closing the gap now to 6 points for UCU. And of course, KCB is going to be thinking about it, having Praise on the front court and Novelin as well in the middle. Nancy tries to come for for the slide behind, and Praise tries to go down the line, but she doesn't catch any hands, and she tends to want to go to the line. But I think in this moment she's choosing that because she knows she's having a woman on the block, the setter, so she knows the advantage is trying to go above her hands on that side.
And surprisingly now, we see Kcb-Nkumba hiding Auma to the other side of the court, and they are putting a very high block on the line, and she chooses to go diagonal, but the Ribeiro is there to pick it, and that is a ball through the middle for Novlin, and she manages to score that to the deep end of the court.
Yes, good play from Novelin, and good decision from the setter to actually put that ball in the middle, because it would be unexpected for the blockers to get Novelin through the middle.
Yeah,
And
that was a tight angle for actually the cover to pick that ball, because that ball is really so deep. And one of the challenges was that the other side, it was the setup blocking from there, so the block was a little bit short. And then we see another service error from the ECE side, trailing but still making errors, which is so bad. What do you say about it?
yes, and of course, it's not good for the team to be trailing and then serving in the net. And we saw that yesterday as well when KVC was playing against UPDF. We saw the errors that they made while they were trailing behind, and how it cost them. So I think when you're trailing, you just need to be able to send that service on court.
Yeah, that is very right. And there comes another attack fault from Praise. I think she's overthinking on how to score that ball. I would think she should first choose to attack and perhaps get blocked, or maybe look for the hands, but she's trying so much to avoid the block, and she's making attack faults.
You can see there she tried to go to the line, that swing where she went in the net. She was trying to go down the line, and unfortunately she went in the net. But I think she should be able to see how to give her team a few scores while she's on the front court. Free
And by
ball.
the way, Nkumba is one of the teams. Oh, wow.
Wonderful swing. Finally she's able to get through and make
Look at
that.
that.
Yeah.
She didn't even chop the block. She decided to go on the ball very straight.
Yes.
The block wasn't there.
Yeah, and that is what she's supposed to be doing in that moment. She's just supposed to go hard because she's having the jump, very high jump, and she's having a very good contact on the ball, good swing. So she just needs to go straight on the ball.
Yeah, I believe she can score so much when she doesn't think so much about avoiding the block. And because now she's even moving with the setter and Dina, who's a little bit slower to joining the setter the other side, she can really score with ease if she tries to go deep diagonal or straight down to 6.
Yes, and now Kcb calling that first time out for themselves in this set. UCU, of course, coming closer to them. They need to discuss how they can maybe try to end that run that UCU is having. But I think, of course, that spike coming in from Praise, it's going to give her the confidence to try and score. And UCU now having 3 attackers on the front court is another advantage. Of course, Ivas as well being there. Ivas is a player who will look for space on the other side. She's a mature, experienced player, so and that is a big advantage. But also KCB having one of their main attackers, Grace, on the front court is another advantage for them as well. So UCU still has a chance to close this gap.
Yeah, they've really closed it up because the gap was around 8 points, but now it is just literally 5. And we still see a free ball coming from UCU, and that's Evers. She swings in, but the ball is kept alive by the Kcb-Nkumba side. And Grace comes in with a dump, but Praise picks that up. And still again a free ball to the Kcb-Nkumba side. Still, let's see what Grace does. A swing, well covered. Evers keeps that alive, but it's a dump by Praise. Wow, there's some bit of rallies we are seeing around here, but we need to see very hard swings that should come in from the teams.
It's a big swing, of course, from Grace, and she gets that block touch, and it's a point for her side. And Kcb-Nkumba managing to get a break there.
One thing I realized about most teams in Serie A is that this Nkumba side is one of the teams that actually minimizes errors. They try to minimize the errors on their side as much as possible, and that one gives them advantages over the other teams because the rate at which they lose service, the rate at which they might lose the free ball is very, very minimal. And the times we've seen them lose sets, or actually because they haven't lost a game, the sets they've lost, we've seen they have been just the time when they've made those errors. But now they try as much as possible to avoid such errors on their side.
UCU finally getting a break once again, and Praise going into serve. It's a good serve. Well picked. Jennifer comes in with the dump off the hands on the block there, and she's able to get it. But you can see as she moves to play that ball, she's basically coming to dump. She's not even making a swing to dump that ball. She's moving with her hand already prepared to dump. So I think the players should be able to watch something like that. But there is a service error from Grace for KCB, and UCU once again having a chance. Evas going into serve, and having Novel in there is another advantage for the setter to see how to use her players.
And then we see George William Charles saying that I don't think KCB has the full board to beat UCU. Well, right now we see KCB is leading 17-12, so perhaps I don't know how true that statement is.
And of course that block that Jennifer is putting there. So I think this game you can't quite say who is going to win. UCU has a chance to win because KCB, whether their players that we know, their board, as he's saying, is not there. But that doesn't mean they can't fight their way out as well to win, because they have not lost the defense. It's just they are lacking a little bit in the attacking department.
Yeah, that is right.
But of course, with the swings that they are bringing in, they are still getting the scores. So their biggest thing right now is defense.
Yeah, and I think like we can see most of the previous games and this particular game, we will see that is a very, very tall team on the KCB side. I think it is actually the tallest team in the Serie, and that one gives them a very, very big advantage on defense, especially on the net, whereby even we see most teams, they don't have so many options in the attack. If a team is attacking only in position 4, imagine now Jennifer is just putting the block there for Praise. Praise will literally have to think so much on how to score on that ball.
Yes, and that will be the biggest advantage for KCB. Just defense. They just need to put their hands up there and see what they can do. And UCU is struggling to find a way to score. And I feel like it should be basic for them. It should be quite easy for them. They are having the defense. They are having the attackers. Their service is good. So they need to just settle down and see how they can maybe play. And they seem to have sort of relaxed in this set.
Yeah, that is very true. There is a little bit, actually, there is a little bit of relaxation from both teams. That is from the ECU side and the Kcb-Nkumba side, because the momentum of the game has actually gone a little bit down, and we see both teams now starting to make errors, especially on service, which we have not seen for so long on these particular teams. So if they start losing service, that is shows it is one loss of concentration from the two teams, and there comes another fault from Praise, who tries to have a swing into the diagonal, but that ball goes way out.
And seeing how KCB is moving in this set, if they take it away with a big range, I feel this game is going to get tougher than it is so far. Big service. This time Praise comes in high. She is blocked. The setter chooses to give that ball to Alado. Free ball. Grace. Big swing. That's an error from her. That ball does not go over the net. I think I've seen several errors coming in from Grace in terms of that. I think her swing seems to be slightly delayed, and she tends to swing in the net. But
I, I, I
she's been scoring for her
I
team.
believe I believe one of the reasons as why she errors on that ball is that they are having their setter block in position 4, and then she's staying in position 2, and then the rhythm of the ball that is covered, it changes, because now the setter has to turn and face the other position to be able to set that ball facing position 2, and now that one changes the rhythm of the player in terms of approach.
Yes, and now Tracy coming in for the service. She tends to be an aggressive server. Yeah, but Grace just makes a touch on that one. Ball is kept alive. There's no one there. Good play from Alado. Very, very simple touch, and she gets that play. And
We saw that, we saw her doing that in the last weekend fixture against Sportes, and she scored so many points like that, and she's extending the same play to the KCB side.
yes, and of course we know that is a very difficult position to cover, especially when the attack is trying to swing. You don't know whether to wait in the middle there to play that ball or to just start far wide and then getting back in. So it's a tough position to cover, not because players don't see the ball, but I think the movement is very difficult. But that's a good play from her, and if she continues to maybe read, she could be able to score. But now UCU, of course, still lagging behind by 5. Good pick from Praise. Ball goes to her. Big swing. The block touches are there. Ball is kept alive. Another big swing coming in from Grace. KCB will get a free ball. Of course, they find it very hard to pick. Another free ball, this time tough as well. It's a good block from Grace. They are watching closely and staying on the net. And KCB
But
winning this
but but
rally.
but did you see the confusion on the KCB side?
Yes,
And
to pick that free ball.
yeah, that one comes with the fact that they have to make their setter go and block in position 4. Now the players were literally running off the front zone to switch side, and it was getting tough for them to play offensively.
Yes, Grace coming in with that big swing. Ball is covered. This time she tries to send that ball over, but that is yeah, she's able to get it. And there's a touch as well from Praise on that block. UCU now being forced to call the second timeout of this set. They've not really had a good run, and I don't see why they would be struggling to play, because I think that they are losing out on their own errors.
And somehow I would think they need to change their tactic, because we've not seen much from Duffin, who is a very aggressive attack on the EC side. We've seen blocks compile on Praise and Alado, and it is becoming a challenge for them to score. So the setter should think, perhaps using their opposite, who is Duffin, to be able to get some few more scores on their side. Otherwise, with that block they are ganging on Praise, it will be challenging for them to keep scoring with ease.
Yes, and we saw them, they tend to relax in the second set. We saw that against Sportes last weekend as well. When they take away a set, then they sort of relax. They take away a set, then they sort of relax. Because we saw in the first and fourth, in the second and fourth sets against Sportes, we saw the same type of play we are seeing now in this second set. against KCB.
Yeah, they've actually tried to show one characteristic of that. When a team is really leading you so much, they tend to give up until they feel like, wow, this is actually possible. They start hoping
Yes.
when they see things changing. Whereby I believe they should start from the start to fight until the game ends.
Yes, but of course you have to keep hopeful either way. And there comes a big block from Evers with Daffin giving GCU another chance, service opportunity, and it could be an advantage for them because for ladies games the points are 23-18, but there's still more that could come from this set.
Yeah, that's very right, and UC has an advantage if they can gang up the block on who is
Grace.
on Grace, because she's the main attacker they have in front court, and most of the balls have to go to her. So if they could strategize their defense on her and then be able to score from the other side, they'll be able to catch up those points.
Yes, another big swing coming in from Praise, but another big swing coming in from Praise, and now KCB calling a timeout as well. UCU sitting at 19 points.
There is a challenge for Nkumba at this particular rotation, whereby we've seen not so many sets have gone to Dina, and now she's with Grace, who's one of the main attackers of the team. And then now the block has to now structure to gang up on one person, because Dina has not actually been given any ball from the start of the game. Well, will the setter choose to give her right now? We don't know. Or maybe the setter will choose to dump as the option, or still give Grace the ball to be able to score.
Yes, but where UCU is now, they have a big chance. If they can get to the 20-point mark, they can still try to catch up. But it's a good run from KCB side, as you say, trying to minimize those errors. They are doing the best they can, and their strength right now is not attack, it's defense. And they are doing that quite well. They are sending the ball back to the UCU side and then putting those blocks up. But there is an error from Grace. She tries to swing very hard on that one, but doesn't quite get it as well. And UCU coming in from that timeout and still extending their push to catch up.
Kcb-Nkumba is now into actually they're in a fix because they have one option. And now we see Dina coming in with a slide which is not successful.
Yes.
Like I told you, see, they have to really think, what can they really do to break out from this rotation?
And now the coach making a double substitution here for Kcb-Nkumba. I think this is also going to be another situation for them. Of course, we see Bridget coming on with the setter Katrina. I think they said the coach is now looking to have 3 attackers on the front court to have options and also improve the defense. But Daffin just keeping the service as simple as possible, putting it on court, just ball attacked from Grace.
Let's see what Praise can do. She chooses to swing that through, but the ball is still kept alive by Scovia. And now there goes a net fault by Grace. And then UCU closes the gap still more to 22-23.
Yes, and I think right now in this moment, KCB is going to be looking for a very, very tough way to get a point. And Daffin, with the way she's serving, that is exactly what she's supposed to do. Send the ball over and just play.
Yeah, that is very right. And like I told you, if the defense of UCU actually keeps so hard on Grace, they will be able to go away with this set because she's the main attacker they have there right now. And then that's an attack fault from Praise.
Yes, but that was a good service from Daffin. And like you mentioned, KCB was on tension to get that service going and to get that pass. And they struggled to make it. It was almost an ace service from her because they were on pressure to be able to get a break in that moment.
Yeah, that is very right, and I think UCU, hopefully they don't live to regret this loss of this particular point because it had brought them back to the game. This was where they would actually win this set from. But now with KCB with 3 attackers front court, they have the advantage to go away with this. But then we see a service error from the setter.
And now, of course, Praise going in for service. But I think Praise needs to just keep attacking hard because the moment a player tries to go soft, they tend to make errors like that. That ball she passed over, if it is, and there goes another error from her, and she doesn't quite give her team that set, and it is a game down. I think that is also coming from. I feel like she could be on so much tension in this moment, yet that's the time she should be very, very calm and see
Yeah,
how to play,
we,
because she's the main player of her side.
we've seen two errors coming from her. An attack fault whereby perhaps the ball she could even, if it was a hard swing, she would say, okay, that was right. But then she tried to just spin the ball and caught it, failed and went out. And then she went into service at 24-23, but then she puts that down into the net. And now that one led to the end of the set, and Kcb-Nkumba takes the second set.
Yes, but I think UCU needs to work on those areas. KCB is doing a very good job minimizing that and trying to play the best they can, because they know they are having some gaps, and of course they know that UCU feels they can actually go through them. But
And according to how the points were, because KCB was leading with so many points, but
yes,
then you see you closed up the gap up to one, and that should be one of the things that Coach T or Coach Tony should think about when in this actually end of the second set, what is he going to tell his players on having such kind of plays,
yes,
leading so well, but then allowing the other team to again catch up.
yes, and I think we shall see that in the third set, ladies and gentlemen.
And now we are back for set three. Uh, who takes on set three? Will it be UCU or KCB? Let us see who will want this more. But then there goes the first point to the KCB side. And then Auma goes into service. A very good.
And of course, KCB sitting at 2 points and UCU at 1, and 1 set each team. We are in for the third set, and we are hoping to see who is going to go away with it. Jennifer coming in very hard on that one. Setter going to Alado. Alado trying to send the ball over. Jennifer, big swing down the line, and she gets that point. I think KCB is really psyching up in that attack department. They are trying to go very hard because they've realized that is the weakness that they've been having. So they are really, really trying to see how to come in with big swings. And I'm really impressed by Jennifer really going high up. She has improved and tried to fill that position quite well. And the setter looking for her again. She's going down the line. Big swing from Alado. Shut down. Good block
That was
there
a block from Novlin
yeah.
and Daphne as they block down Scovia on that left side of the court.
And I think Scovia needs to step up her game, really. She needs to find better ways to score because I feel, guys, don't come for me in the comments. I'm going to say this. I feel she's a tall player, and for a tall player who has played volleyball for some time, as we've seen her, she should be able to do better. She's good, but I feel like she downplays her performance.
Yeah, she should be actually playing much better than this. But we see she was off for a little bit of a while.
Yes.
She just came back into the game. Perhaps that break off she had was also one of the impacts because she was really playing very well by the time she got that break off.
I feel it's because you can see when a player is moving to attack, the way the way they come to approach the ball, you can see that this player is intending to actually go very hard on the ball.
The approach onto the attack is actually a bit lazy.
Yes,
It's a bit
that
slow.
is what I am talking
so
about.
that one will actually make the attack very, very slow and not hard. So she needs perhaps to be a little bit more aggressive as she approaches to that ball.
Yes, and then she can be able to add power on that, because I feel she could do better than that. Being a tall player, she doesn't need to do much. She just needs to be aggressive in her movement and then go higher, and then she could get that swing because she already has the advantage.
That is very right. She has the advantage of the height. She has the advantage that she's always on the side whereby the blockers are a little bit short, but she needs to really improve her play. But now we really see that UCU is getting a problem with Jennifer because Jennifer is trying to score so many points on them and they are failing to block her, yet she's even blocking.
Yes, but of course KCB having another great start in this third set, having that lead, that 3-point lead. I feel like maybe UCU is tending to get nervous against this team, and yet they have the force that they can bring up against KCB. It's a good service from Jennifer. Ball is well picked. Praise coming in very hard. I think that was a little tight on the net, but it is kept alive. Alado sending over a free ball. Another free ball coming in from KCB. Praise plays that one. Big swing from her, and she gets the court.
Well, there would be an argument if Jennifer stands and passes over that ball when she's front court. That is an overreach because depending on the height she is, by the time she raises her hand to play that ball, the ball is way higher than the belt. And now we saw she really actually kept the ball alive from the other side of the antenna, but so high up there. I really feel that was an overreach, but that is
but I
what
think
some
they are
of the referees
considering
tend
that jump.
Yeah,
The
they're
referees
considering
tend
the
to
jump, but it
consider
has
the
to be
jump.
the ball and where the contact of the ball is. Perhaps the referee forgot about the height advantage she has, and they saw that she was really standing, and they kept quiet about that. But to me, that one is a foul.
Yeah. Alado sending that ball hard. This time Scovia, big swing off the hands, and she gets that point. Yeah, this time she really tries to come in hard and use that block on Daphne.
Uh, Actually, in this game, I think Praise will actually need to work so hard to be able to deliver for the UCU side because we see they are sending a very high block for her every time there was Jennifer there. Now they sent there Sikora, and now they are sending in Grace to block her. Whereby each and every time she's really finding very high blocks, so she needs to work out something extra to be able to score so much. Otherwise, the setter will have to think.
Yes, and Grace coming in hard with that swing. Praise, big swing. She knows that now the block has changed. You can see the energy, the power she has put on that ball, looking for the court this time, and she finally gets it. She knows that it is the setter there.
Yeah,
And
she goes sharp diagonal, and
yes,
because they had sent Grace and Nancy to her, so the block on the line was high, the block in the middle was high, so she tends to chop that ball into the sharp diagonal there, and she gets that angle. Very nice swing and a very nice score.
yeah, good swing from Nancy through the middle. Good play, good set there from Auma, and yeah, she seemed the ball was a little tight, but Nancy knows that ball is coming to her, and she just swings on it. And KCB once again taking the lead. And
I really need to see you use their opposite Daphne, because I feel like they've really ignored her throughout the game or the start of the game, and the balls most of the time they are going to praise and Alado, and but they are underutilizing her, whereby she's a resource that could actually harm the
yes,
the
I,
KCB
I
Nkumba
feel like
side.
now on that rotation having Alado and Daphne, the ball could go to Daphne. That would be very good. That's a beautiful swing from Praise, and she gives the setter reason to just keep sending that ball there for her.
And Grace comes in with a swing that the block touches and the ball is kept alive by Alado. And that's an off-spin ball from Praise, but the Ribeiro couldn't manage to keep that alive. And that is a point for UCU as they close up the gap to 1 point. And we see Praise is still in service. What can she deliver for the team? She needs to be a little bit consistent. That is a very nice serve, not the best pass, but the setter tries to keep the ball alive, but she couldn't. And that one gives an advantage to UCU to now take the points onto the tie.
Yeah, they've finally tried to they finally actually closed that gap up, and it's now 8-8, and this is where the game begins, ladies and gentlemen, for UCU and of course for KCB. And that is a beautiful serve from Praise. Free ball for UCU picked by Evas. She comes in and takes that spike. It was a little tight, and the setter just makes a slight touch, and Evas is there to send it over. And UCU taking the lead for the first time in this set, and I think that could give them the confidence to and momentum to see how to push and
Yeah,
get this set.
that was an advantage for the UC side, in that the setter is tall, and she manages to actually keep that alive. And that is another attack fault from was
From
it
Dina.
Dina? Because we see very few sets going into her, and every each time they've tried to set for her, she has not scored,
Yes,
and she has perhaps hit that ball onto the belt or given a free ball.
yes. And now KCB calling a timeout, the first timeout of this set. They need to settle down and see how they can try to play better, because they had a good start. They have had a big lead since they start, 4-point lead, but now UCU has closed it up and are leading by 2 points at the moment. So KCB needs to see how they can work with that. UCU, of course, now building more momentum and confidence for themselves and having a very good, beautiful service run so far.
We see still KCB in the rotation that really challenges them. If UCU is really to make a difference, they need to make it at this particular time, because they have advantage of having 3 attackers front court, and Kcb-Nkumba utilizing 1 major attacker in their front zone.
Grace, she can only send a dump on this one. The setter choosing Praise again. Praise goes for the dump, but that is a little far and it is well read. And now Grace just making a slight touch off the hands of the block, and she's able to get it. But I think the setter needs to really, really use Daphne to play. She's forcing so many balls to the backcourt. She's not looking at getting points. She's looking at finding that one attacker. I think she needs to look into that and see how she can use the three attackers she's having on the front court. But
Yeah,
that is a service error coming in from Auma, the setter, on the side of KCB.
yeah, we've seen Daphne rotate throughout the front court without any single ball, and yet she's an opposite. She's literally doing nothing in the back zone. She's not receiving, and very few times she's covering, but she's leaving the front zone without any single ball set to her. That was underutilizing an opposite player, and the opposite player we know as Daphne, she should be able to actually give so many points in terms of offense to the UCU side. But then we saw previously the setter choosing to go even for a backcourt, yet she had options of Alado, who was being blocked by the setter, and Daphne in position 2.
Yeah, of course, the setter finally putting that ball there. But then there is a big block from Jennifer, and she shuts her down.
Yeah, that was a poor decision still from the setter. She chooses to give Daphne the ball when she really has very, very high blocks. And the time she had to give her the ball, she couldn't. And now we see Jennifer back into the front zone. That is an advantage for Kcb-Nkumba to actually now get a much bigger lead because the defense is high. And we see still the attacker scared of that block. That is Alado. She tries to go for the hands, but she's not able to get that.
Yes, it's another attacking error from them. A service from Grace for KCB. Tough pick for Alado. It's an overpass. Free ball. Jennifer sends that ball over. The libero is there watching, but the block is waiting from the KCB side, and they get that point as well.
And now Kcb-Nkumba is into the lead 12-11 with their best defense in front on the net with Scovia and Jennifer the other side. Yet you see is used to attacking out. We see the ball is set through the middle for Novlin, but then that was a very soft hit, and then another setting error comes in and the ball is blocked down by Jennifer. That sends the points to the lead to 13-11 for Kcb-Nkumba. I think Kcb-Nkumba, this is the rotation whereby they can actually win this particular set. They create a very big point gap. They gain the confidence and actually know that this is a play they can determine on how it moves.
Yes, and you see you now calling their timeout as well for their side to see how they can speak to each other, because they've tried to close that gap, and now KCB is leaving them once more. So they need to see how they can improve and play better. The coach speaking to them as well to see what they can do. The players speaking to each other to discuss those issues. They need to sort out how to get those points, even if the block is very high.
Yeah, we see we see Arthur saying that let Daphne concentrate on the blocks. The receiver attackers ain't doing bad. Yes, they ain't doing bad, but we see they are putting a very very tight block on them, and each and every time they fail to score, it has been that block on them whereby they have not been able to score on them, and all the time they have had a shorter block. That is the only time they've managed to score. Like now we can see there is a very very big challenge for them to score, especially Alado. She's trying to avoid that block of Jennifer on the side, but then she's not getting to score that ball. So to me, I guess she should actually look at using her opposite, because even defending the ball from that zone of position 2 is one thing that is really challenging.
Yes, and I feel like UCU seems to feel seems down for this set. They seem down right now in this moment, and there is an ace service again from Grace. UCU seems to give up in this moment, but they shouldn't. I think there is still a chance for them right now. Okay, KCB, of course, maintaining the lead. Like you mentioned, their rotation that was giving them the points to have the lead. And we saw a substitution from UCU. Daphne was taken out just a little bit, and she's able to get back in. But you see, the setter goes for Daphne when she's in back court, but doesn't go for her when she's on the front court. And I feel like she's very lethal when she comes in that front court.
Yeah, the setter is trying to remember that she has an opposite in Daphne who is meant to attack the balls at most times. But then I don't know. It is not late, but it is the time whereby she needs to rethink and know that she needs to use her opposite, especially when she's front court.
Yes, and the setter needs to think greatly, like you have said.
And then Praise comes in with a swing, but that ball is kept alive by Barbara, but it couldn't be kept so much alive onto the court. That is a ball covered outside. And that one sends Novlin into service as Evers comes into the front court. What can she provide on the block? Let's wait and see. UCU is still trying to cover up the point gap from the 4 points. They led them now to 3, but still trying to find a solution for this particular game. Now we see still Praise coming in with a dump, and she manages to get that. Jennifer couldn't be able to move to recover that ball, as well as Scovia on the other side of the court. And now UCU closes up the gap to 2 points.
Yes, beautiful play. And now KCB calling their second time out of this set as well. And I think that is also because of UCU trying to close that gap. But I feel like UCU, the body language needs to get better. They need to bring back that power. We don't hear the noise. They are a team that usually speaks loud. There's just no push at the moment.
Yeah, they are a quiet team today. We see they are not actually having that moral, that vibe they usually have, and that is one of the things that is putting their play a little bit down. But that is something they can work out. Starting with players on the bench, they should be able to give the morale to their team more and see how they can close up this gap. But now we see KCB still in a fix of a little bit two rotations that gives them challenges. This rotation and the rotation whereby the setter is usually in position 4. A very good pass from Scovia, but then not the best set, and that sends a free ball to CCU, and the ball is given to Praise. A very big swing, but then the ball is blocked down by Auma and Nasi there.
I think Nasi just watches her closely, and Praise tried to go down the line once again, but I think she doesn't quite make the full turn to get it, and that when you do that, that takes you back to the block of the middle player, and not necessarily. And even if there is a shorter blocker on the outside, you end up getting straight into their block. And I think at this moment she needs to find a way to really give her team those points. Big
Yeah, like
swing from Grace. Quick play. And Alado just has no time to catch that one. Big swing and she takes it.
that is what Grace can do to you, especially when your block is not working. She's that hard hitter, and usually her attacks are going deep into the back zone. And now, if she's really gaining momentum, then UC has something to worry about. Not the very good set from Daphne, but then that's a free ball to Kcb-Nkumba. A slide comes in from Nancy, and she manages to go away with that as Alado fails to cover. We see she's really asking for the substitution by herself.
Yes, and now Jocelyn comes in, and I think she maybe
She's
needs
really
some time to
disappointed in
think
herself.
about it.
She's
Yeah.
failing to cover. The balls are coming a little bit to her side. She's knocking them, but she's failing to maintain those balls up.
Yes, and Kcb-Nkumba looking very beautiful to take this set away. 2015, having that service coming in. Maggie picks that one. Praise! Big jump. You can see she goes very high this time.
And attacks that down to the line.
Yes, she goes for the hands and gets that block touch. A good play from her. But I think she needs to maintain that. She needs to be consistent. Look at that jump. Very big jump. In fact, there is no block touch. There is no block
She
touch.
flung
That ball
that
goes
down the line.
Yes, and it's a beautiful play from her.
And the ball goes into Grace with a very big swing, and she gets the corner of the court.
Yes, and it's a beautiful play. I think the libero Maggie thought that ball was going out, and you can see she tried to leave it to go, but then it just catches the court at the end there.
One of the things teams need to always think about is they should always identify in which rotation is someone who's going to harm us in. I guess at this point in time, Grace is the main attacker on the Kcb-Nkumba side, whereby they need to concentrate on blocking her than
And
any other player on
yeah,
court.
and she's
But
the
then
main
they are still
receiver
in
attacker.
movement. Yes, they are
So
still in movement to join their blocks towards her. So sometimes, as players on court, we need to be a little bit more wise. As maybe also the coaches need to always constantly remind their players on who the player on the other side is meant to harm them or actually cause danger to them. But that was a very good service from the UCU side, and that one the chooses actually closes up the gap to 3 points.
yes, and now UCU, of course, looking good to try and maybe catch up. Good service, good pick from Dina. Ball goes to Grace. This time she just sends it slightly there, and there's no one to get it. But I feel like the libero could have at least made an attempt to move, because you can see the ball is going very slowly. You know,
Yeah,
sometimes there are moments where you move, she could move, and we say maybe she thought Duffin was going to make a touch
yeah,
because she
because
lifted
that
their hands.
ball was
But you
right
can
on
still
top of
move.
Duffin.
Yes, but
And somehow your movement is killed because you feel like the player is going to pick this
yes,
ball.
but I think when you make the move, at least it shows like you wanted to actually go, but
Mm.
then you were distracted a little bit. You get that type of play.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
is 23-18, and Kcb-Nkumba is comfortably leading set number 3, and seems like they are taking away the set 3 as we wait to see who will be taking on set 4. However much it is not over until it ends. So will UCU from the timeout make something different? We don't know yet.
I feel like I want to see if KCB goes away with this set. I want to see if UCU can fight and take the fourth set, because I have not seen that type of play from UCU this season. For the games that I've seen them play, the game against Ndeje, the game against KCCA, they tried to put up a fight, but they still lost it 3-1 as well. They took the first set of that game, and it's seemingly like it could look like that here for KCB as well.
Yeah, and I have a feeling like the UCU attackers have been intimidated by the high blocks of the Kcb-Nkumba, and now they are finding it challenging on how to score on that other side, and
I,
they are a little bit going soft or trying to avoid the block. I
I,
think there is some little bit of intimidation.
yeah, I don't know if it's just me as okay, of course, being a libero, but I enjoy seeing a block on the net. Like me, as me, I enjoy seeing the block there, because the moment they give you the block, then you know how to play.
Yeah, that is very right. Some people, but it depends also what block are they giving you.
Yeah, yes,
Sometimes that block that is covering you up,
yes.
it is
I
not
feel
the
like you're
block you feel
supposed to
like.
enjoy when there is a very high block. You just go hard. You don't even need to think so much. You just play the ball on the block.
Trust me, I don't think Praise would be in position to say I would wish to meet Jennifer's block on the net than the setter.
Yes,
So
I know, but I think, okay, you can tell me, you as you know, when the block is high, you have to enjoy play on the block. I think that's something that most players really don't think about sometimes.
yeah, that one it actually it really shows how 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 confident or how innovative or how brilliant
Yeah.
the attacker is. If you find a block, how brilliant are you to score for the team?
Yes, and I think that's what should make it very interesting for the player, for the attacker.
And that is what as I was telling you, we need to see something from Praise
Mm.
and perhaps Alado, who has taken off. What can they really do when they meet such blockers?
Yes, and of course, we saw. I'm going to give an example. This guy from is it Opoya from Elion?
Yes,
That is the type of guy that enjoys when he plays on a high block.
Well, uh, we have a game coming up next. That is Alien up against Spotters.
Yes,
Let
but
us
I
see.
had to give that example.
So when he meets Goom's block, we we
I
hope to
expect
see.
him to enjoy, because he has showed that he can enjoy.
Yeah, we shall actually confirm that after he has met Goom and Sam on the net. and he has to really
Ah,
go past that
no,
block there.
you guys want to use intimidation, but anyway, let's get back
Generally,
to
as
this game.
players,
Eh,
even me when I'm on the other side, sometimes the block intimidates you, but it depends on how calm and how innovative you are and how you know you will surpass that block. But
yes.
it is just individual brilliance.
Yes, but now KCB taking away the third set here as well and sitting at 2 sets, and UCU at 1 set. We saw several errors coming in from UCU. They tried to catch up again in this set as well, but that last point just comes off as an error, miscommunication as they try to send over that free ball. And I think that, like you mentioned, Malik, they are still intimidated by the play. I think they've shut themselves down, and yet they have that thing. And I think right now this is the chance for them to just enjoy the game, like we've been talking. The blocks are there. You just have to play. You just have to be more aggressive and see how to play, because KCB knows the block is high, so they just wait for the dumps to take the dumps. They know that the hard attack may not be able to go through because they're
Yeah,
trusting their block.
yeah, that is right. And we've seen Jennifer having so many blocks out there, especially on the outside attackers of UCU. That is why I say that if the UCU is really brilliant, they should think about using the other side of the court, that is middle and position two, to actually now try to bring Daphne back into the game. However much Arthur was saying that Daphne should concentrate more on blocking, but she cannot only concentrate more on blocking as an opposite. She's an opposite player is meant to give you actually 80% of the offensive play of the team, but now literally she's getting 1% of the balls that are set throughout the whole set for the team, and that is really dangerous because the opposite will literally give you nothing. Even if you want her to block, she will not be able to block because the balls are not there for her to attack. A player who's attacking is a player who blocks.
Yes. So let's wait and see fourth set how it's going to go. And I feel like you could psych up and we go 5 sets here. But let's wait and see.
And now we are back. And then we see Kcb-Nkumba already leading 3 points to 0. trying to show their intent that they are very ready to go away with this game. And UCU is still trying to find options on how they can score. We see Tracy has been introduced on as a middle player and having Evers into the setting department. And then we see Evers straight away looking out for Daphne, who scores that and swings that onto the line. But Jennifer and Dina couldn't keep that ball alive. And now it is 1 for UCU and 3 points for Kcb-Nkumba. Very good service from Praise, a very nice catch from Grace, but then Jennifer goes with that swing down onto the line of position 6. It wasn't a very hard attack, but it was a very technical attack whereby the cover couldn't be able to keep that ball alive. Perhaps Coach Juma decided to have in a mixture or a different kind of version of play by calling out Evers to get back into the setting department to be able to give them options. Maybe she can be able to change the tactic of the game. Let's see what she will be able to do. Will she still go for the outside attackers, or she will have a different mix of the game? And the ball couldn't be kept alive by UCU. We see their offensive play getting back down. We don't know if the setter is trying to go with a different kind of options, but then we see Alado hasn't had the best of the game today. She's really off. She switched off, and her confidence really went down. And now Coach Juma decides to substitute her for Jocelyn, and now that one keeps UCU into a fix because she's one of the players that provides that defense and offensive play for the UCU side. But then that was a very, very good point scored in position 2 by Daphne. And then UCU breaks off with that to send the scores to 2 up against 6 for Kcb-Nkumba. Very good service, good pass from Grace. And Jennifer comes down onto the line, a big swing, but the ball is kept alive by Praise. And another free ball still goes to KCB. She goes into the middle, Nancy, but then Praise still keeps that defense so high to maintain UCU into the play. Good defense again by Evers, and it's another free ball to KCB,
Actually,
but that one
there's
didn't
no
come as
free
a
ball.
free ball.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
uh,
there's no free ball.
because Praise should have done better than sending that ball into the net
Yes, and
as a set, and yet the ball was even very, very low.
yes, and now I feel like UCU is really, really now even struggling more, seeing the lineup that they've had for this set. Let's see a big swing there from Jocelyn. Another good swing, but there is a net touch there from the blockers of UCU side. And KCB leading by 6 points and having 2 sets already. This speaks so much for them having a chance to take this set. And now UCU is calling a very early timeout. I think it just gets worse and worse for them since the second set.
And now that forces into a timeout for UCU, and we see George Williams saying that the moment UCU gave up the second set, they lost it all. Kcb-Nkumba doesn't start well, but get far better as the game goes on. Yes, that is very right. But in this particular game, Kcb-Nkumba has started off very well, and even the previous set. And we cannot say that UCU gave up the second set because UCU really just was it
Yeah,
8 points?
it's not. It's actually they are not giving up. I think they are like they seem to be holding back.
Yeah, because it was an 8 points chase. Yes, they closed up the gap to 1, but again made 2 errors towards the end of the set, and that costed them. And I said that perhaps that will be something that the UC will not tend to regret. But now it looks like it is right. They will have to regret that set that they managed to catch up and again let it go.
Yes, that is a wonderful play from Praise on that swing, getting the hands on the block, and the libero was caught in movement, and she couldn't get back to get that ball.
Right now, KCB I think has gained momentum on how they have to play. Like George said, yes, they were starting off poorly and they were gaining momentum as the game was going on. But right now, I feel like they really know what they have to do, who has to play which role, and in this set we see it. They are very comfortable. They are playing with confidence, and they are showing signs of confidence that they are actually winning this.
Good service from Duffin, but that catch is high enough, and ball goes to Scovia. She goes down the line. It is covered. Praise coming in from the backcourt. Oh, slight misplay there from Jennifer, but that ball is kept alive. And unfortunately, that dig just goes out. And you see now closing the gap down to 3 points. It's been 6 points, and now it's three. And KCB, that is giving KCB something to think about. I think now they are also relaxing, having those two sets already. They seem to be going down. But Nancy comes in with a big swing to give KCB a break and push them to push their lead back to 1 point more. But that's a good set from Awuma. Yes.
And I think actually that slide, or one people calling it one leg, it is one of the sets that can actually be a very big offensive play on the ladies kind of game.
Yes, and having a middle who can take it is a big advantage. Of course, Potters having Esther going for it as well, and then Nancy for KCB. Those are the players that we usually see going for that ball, and Zaina as well for Ndeje also. So I think that is a big advantage. If you get a player who can really swing well on it, it can be a good advantage. But Kcb-Nkumba, of course, really trying to maintain their lead. You see you again closing the gap to 3 points, having that service coming in. A serve from Jocelyn, and Jocelyn isn't going so deep. She's just sending that ball very close. And I see Scovia staying in the same position once again. That is a dropping service. She should be able to read the server and see how to get back in front. And you see you now just 2 points behind. But this time they're able to catch. Big swing from Grace. She is blocked, but that's kept alive. Again, the setter goes to Nancy on that slide but doesn't quite get it. It's a free ball from Evas. Ball is kept alive. Grace, big swing, but that is an error from her. And UCU now just 1 point behind. And I think this is what they were looking for, to gain that confidence, to gain that momentum, to see if they can be able to catch up.
Yeah, with according to the two teams, one of the things UCU has to do is perhaps to have a better chance is to serve, because if they are not able to serve against the Kcb-Nkumba side, it will be very hard for them, because offensively the defense of Nkumba is quite high. So by the time they need to also improve their defense, they need to first serve them and also get some points through service, not only by just serving to kill off the offense of KCB, but also serving to score.
Yes, but that is a wonderful play from Praise, and we are level. You see, you didn't have a good start, but they have really caught up, and we can see the weather is just really pretty today. Oh, good play there from Grace. She doesn't give up on that net. She's is that It was yeah, it is Grace. She
Grace.
doesn't really give up. You can see she sends the ball here and there, and she's able to get that point.
She's even already celebrating before even the ball is lands on the UCU side,
I think she
being
knew she
very
got
sure
that
that
one.
that point was actually hers and it's not going back.
Yes, free ball for KCB. Uh, the setter, of course, will go to Grace, and Grace is very strong in two because with the other players being around, she's been playing in opposite,
Yeah,
so
that's
she doesn't find it difficult to play both sides. It's a beautiful swing from her, and she's able to get that point. KCB now sitting at 12 points, trying to push the lead back once more. Big swing from Praise, and she is shut down by Grace. And now KCB sitting at 13 points once more. And this is one of their this is the rotation where they make so many points on the front court, having Grace there because she's the player that is really pushing their scores. Having Grace there and Jennifer also, who is going to come in later. We can see the setter being in position too there. It's a free ball. Oh, good play. This time Grace is shut down on that block. She
enough
tries to
lane.
go diagonal. Yes, good play from her though on the net. Novelin, wonderful play. Tracy coming on now.
Yeah, if UCU fails to make points in that rotation, because Kcb-Nkumba has proved to be not consistent in scoring in that rotation, having one player they rely on. So if they could manage to serve well and also defend Grace, it would be one of the key points of them getting points. But as we see, Grace still goes hard, and she really finds no challenge with the defense of UCU. However much there are two blockers there already in
I think
time.
the block was quite late for the UCU side, quite late to jump. We saw Tracy delaying slightly, and by the time her hands are going up, Grace has just gone through. Oh, miscommunication there from Auma and Scovia. But I think Scovia needs to also focus on her backcourt defense as well, because for someone who is playing in position 6, she should be able to take charge of that side as well, because we've seen also when the middle player went to serve Nancy, she had to pick some balls going towards 6, and Scovia was staying there and looking on. Ace service from Evas. Good play from her. And you see you back in just 1 point behind,
Yeah,
closing
like
that
I
gap.
told you, one of the things UC really has to do is to serve, because one of the things that Habiba and Hadija were giving the Kcb-Nkumba side was that first pass, the first reception. But now we see KCB is hanging on so much on the Ribeiro Babla to be the major receiver they have on the team. Otherwise, passing the defense of Kcb-Nkumba on the net will be really hard, as we see that Praise has to use extreme energy to be able to pass that high block. She really has to go to 120%, not just 100% to be able to score. And that is something that is very hard to maintain if you're one player that is given a very big percentage of sets. Very nice service still from Evers. And then Jennifer comes in with a dump, but the ball is kept alive. Not very well picked by UCU, but again a free ball. And Grace comes in with a swing, but that's a good block. But the referee says that those were actually 4 hits.
Of course, now KCB calling a timeout, and you see you taking the lead here for the first time.
Yeah, that was a ball on the belt. The ball didn't manage to cross to the other side of the court. And then UCU goes back into the lead.
Yes, and I think this is going to push them because they're one set down. If they're able to play and keep up the lead, they could be able to actually take this set, and we go 5 sets, and maybe they could have a chance to even take away the game in the 5th set if they are able to push and go for it.
Yeah, right now I think UCU will be happy to first get a point, because they were really down, the bodies were down, but for this particular set, they started uh, trailing, but now they managed to catch up and still lead, and they are really trying to fight on. I wish they started this early, but the Kcb-Nkumba is also looking so determined. They don't want to give the UCU any kind of chance or any comeback, and they really want to close up the game at this particular time. And with Grace in front court and Jennifer, that is an advantage to the KCB side. But then we see an S coming in, but I think that was a miscommunication from the Ribeiro and Scovia.
But I think that ball seemed to be going out and just caught Scovia on its way out. It's a service error from Evas, and that gives KCB a break that they've been looking for.
And now Grace goes into service as we still see a very, very high block coming to the front zone, and that is Scovia, Jennifer, and Dina. A free ball goes to Kcb-Nkumba, kept alive by Grace, and then Scovia comes in, but then she gives a free ball. Let's see, ball is given to Praise, big swing, and she manages to go away with that against very high blocks of Scovia and Dina. Yeah, the block wasn't really set in time as they tried to still swing and lay, but Praise had already attacked the ball. That was a very, very fast arm swing. Brilliant play from her. Still a very nice block from Jennifer, and we see Daphne couldn't go past the dump, or the dump she tried to go above Jennifer. Jennifer is a very, very tall player, but that dump, she kept that dump alive, and she gave a point to KCB. We see Carol saying the game has taken forever. We are waiting for the Spotters versus Elion game. Yes, everyone is waiting for that game, but we had weather interruptions by the rain, and somehow the game had to really delay. That's a very nice block, very, very well laid block with Tracy and Jocelyn, and that one still keeps UCU to a 2-point lead. Arthur said UCU is good at chasing but can't maintain the lead. Yeah, I think you're very right. UCU is, yeah, they try to chase, but at the end they tend to give up on the, as they close the gap, they tend as well to make errors when they have actually closed up the gap after a very, very good hard work. Caro says the setter is pushing the ball onto the net. Yes, that is very right. Right, there is an inconsistency in the sets of UCU. The attackers are actually all the time struggling because the balls are too close to the net. And up against that tall defense of Kcb-Nkumba, I am telling you, you stand no chance to be able to win that 50-50 play in the game. And that is an off-net set, but then Jocelyn goes in with a swing. It goes way outside wide, and that one now gives KCB the chance to close up the gap and get into the tie at 18-18. Evers needs to think very, very wisely on how to score up from this rotation, because she has 3 attackers front court, but yes, she has chosen to give the ball to Jocelyn because the setter is the one blocking her. But then Jocelyn couldn't be able to score that point. And now a free ball goes to UCU, but Evers picks that ball. Jocelyn comes in with a swing, but the ball is kept alive by Kcb-Nkumba. Another free ball picked very well by the Ribeiro. Evers chooses the backcourt, and the swing comes in hard by Praise, but that goes out wide. And now Kcb-Nkumba is back into the lead at 19-18. Very interesting game. It is, but it is two-way. Sometimes the game tempo goes down, and again it gets hyped. Like right now, we see the game tempo is really a bit high, and the teams are trying to fight for this set 4, with Kcb-Nkumba already having 2 sets up, and you see trying to level up in the set scores. Daphne goes into service at 19 all. Can she really serve well for the team? Let's wait and see. A good service, good pass by Grace, and the one leg goes in behind for Nancy. She manages to take that ball down on court, but the referee says the ball is actually outside. Though that ball seemed to really be on court, but the referee says the ball is actually out. UCU 20, Kcb-Nkumba 19, and service is with UCU. Very good service by Duffin, a good catch by Grace, but then it's a free ball going back to Nkumba. To UCU, can they really use this? A backcourt goes into praise. She gets an off spin off to the middle, but the ball is kept alive, and Scovia comes in with a big swing, and that one relieves Kcb-Nkumba off to take the scores to 2020. And that is a very good swing from the EC side. They are still showing intent that they are ready to fight for this. And Lado was introduced back on, and she goes into service. Still, UC leading at 21-20. Yeah, and that was a slide coming in from Nancy, and she actually manages to get to that point and relieve Kcb-Nkumba. And now we see a substitution coming in for the defense. That is Bridget coming in for Auma. We don't know who will set in this particular rotation, but we see Coach Tone trying to talk to Sokovia. Yeah, Sokovia is the captain, but we don't know who will be now standing in to set.
From the looks of it, I think the coach wants the game to be a little bit defensive. Oh, good attack. Oh,
Yeah, that was a big swing from Grace, but she couldn't get the hands, and that ball goes outside. Yeah, it was really a wise attack. She was looking for that touch on the block, but she couldn't get it, and the ball ended up going outside. And now UC still keeps in the lead, and the substitution is reversed as we see Bridget coming off and Auma coming back. But then Kcb-Nkumba is in a rotation whereby they were really struggling. What can they really do at this particular time to break off?
good pick, good save from the setter.
And that is a very wise play from Praise. What a very good dump. She manages to go past the two blockers, but there was no one to cover that dump. And now that forces Nkumba to call the timeout, as UCU needs only 2 points to be able to tie the set scores.
I think Nkumba really needed the timeout. They need to process, and I think Nkumba needed the timeout. They need to process and at least come out with a plan so that they force this game not to go to decisive.
Yeah, you're very right. This is the time whereby they need to actually put in extra efforts and maybe change the tactics to get to know that this is a set they really need to fight for. Instead of losing a point, they already have a point in the bag, but they are looking for 2 more points. But we see UCU fighting on, saying that we also need a point in this particular game.
Yeah, a point would really be good for UCU at the moment.
Very good service from Duffin. Good catch from Scovia. And then the ball goes out to Grace. A swing. She chooses to go for a dump, but the ball is kept well back alive. And then again another good set, but then not the best. Ball is kept up. Evers goes for praise. A big swing comes in, but the attack is out.
It must have hurt her.
Yeah, the ball seemed a little bit low. She didn't have time to swing. Well, the ball was high, but then I think she looked for a very tight angle to be able to score that. That is one problem with Praise. Even in the previous points, I think at this late game she tries so many things out, yet she could do better. And now that is another fault in reception by Alado, and the efforts to to maintain the ball up couldn't go the right way by Tracy and Praise, and now that sends us into a tie at 23-23.
I think the composure from the Nkumba ladies is playing a big role. Oh, and then they serve in the net.
Yeah, now that was Auma, one of their best servers, putting that down onto the net, and now sending UCU to a set point with Evers, who is one of UCU's best server, going into service with an advantage with a point ahead. Hopefully she also doesn't do what the set of the opposite side did. She serves that very well. Good catch from Dina. And then Grace comes in with a swing ball kept alive by the Ribeiro. Praise dumps that, and that one goes into the middle of the court. And
Nice.
that one now sends the sets on 2-2.
That was a good play from Praise. I think that kind of maturity is always what we needed from the start. Since she's like the host of the team, we expect her to always use that knowledge, use everything she got to help the team.
Yeah, that is very right. She really used her good basic, and to be able to know that now they've removed the block, and the players of Kcb-Nkumba were a little bit standing, and they were actually not ready to pick that dump as they were pulling out to be ready to pick the free ball and utilize it. But then Praise chooses to go with that soft spin onto the middle of the court. That was somehow a relaxed play from Nkumba. Otherwise, they would have been able to actually get that ball and utilize it very well. What a brilliant play. It was a very nice cover that started in with the UCU back zone, and then Praise executed that very, very perfectly. And now that leads us into the decisive play of the game.
So, coach, what should we expect in the decisive game?
Well, the decisive, I think now UCU has really gained momentum. They will really take it hard on KCB. KCB tended to have relaxed because they started this particular set with a very, very big point difference. I think it was of 6 points, but then they couldn't manage to maintain the lead up there. Already Arthur was saying that UCU are good at chasing, but somehow they tend to lose it. But this time around, perhaps they've chased, and they've managed to actually go up with the set. They managed to win the set, and that one gives them advantage. But this particular decisive, I don't think Kcb-Nkumba will also give up. They've started the previous sets very well. Let's see, will UCU accept to also start badly, or the KCB side, who has been starting poorly, to start the same way?
So what do you think about the composure of the teams, and how is that composure going to help them in this next set?
Yeah, someone who's more composed, especially we see the connection between the setters and the attackers. If the connection is good, I think the team that has better connection there will stand a very big chance or advantage. We see Praise got back because the sets a little bit got better from Evers, so the connection with her and the setter was a little bit better. And then the Nkumba side, we see the connection between Auma and the attackers who were there, especially Grace and Jennifer going down. And that is one of the reasons why they actually tended to get into a fix on how to score.
And at this point, I think the game is going to be more tense, and we expect all players to at least show that bit of maturity in this coming set. Basing on your judgment and the years you've been playing volleyball, which team do you think has that more kind of maturity?
Yeah, we see the Kcb-Nkumba actually has more players that are more mature, but also the UCU side has the energy. They have that hunger to win. So perhaps we might tend to see experience against the hunger of the energy. What will be able who will be able to catch up with this? That one I cannot predict, but I might say that one who wants it more will go away with it.
Oh, we are now back on court as we prepare for the decisive set. Looking at the scores, I think it really UCU has put up a very big fight.
Yeah, that was a very big fight from UCU. This particular set, I also thought like they had given up on it, but they actually showed resilience and the hunger. They really came up, chased it, and managed to go away with the win, which is an advantage to them. But let's see what Kcb-Nkumba can do. Who will go away with the 2 points or the extra point that they are fighting for? Very nice service from Alado, and that is an ace. UCU gets the first point of the decisive.
Yeah, it's very much important to start with that kind of energy in such a decisive game.
Yeah, usually decisive is a very, very short game, 15
Yes.
points, so you really need to start very well.
Yeah, you really need to start from the word go and maintain that kind of energy.
Another good service from Alado, but then not the best pass from Scovia. A dump goes by Jennifer, but then the ball is kept alive. Praise comes in with a free ball. And another dump from Dina, but the ball is kept alive. Evers goes also for the dump. We are seeing the game is going into much more of a dumping game, but then finally an error on the Kcb-Nkumba side.
Yeah, you see everyone is trying not to make an error, so they are trying to maybe at least use that bit of maturity not to make unforced errors.
Yeah, like you said, I think the game is getting tense, and also the players are actually getting on pressure because when you have the sets and you keep choosing to dump, that shows you that you are actually on pressure. Also, the teams are scared to make errors, like you said.
Yeah, the pressure is on both sides.
Very good service still from Alado, and the Ribeiro tried to pass that. That was Barbara, but then the setter couldn't get in time to retrieve that ball because she's running from the backcourt. And now the points are at 3-0. What a good start by the UCU side.
Indeed, these girls have started on a high pace. If they kind of maintain the pace, then we are likely to see them go off with the 2 points.
Still a good service. And then Jennifer comes in with a big swing, but that ball goes out wide. She really tried to swing so hard on that ball. That was a very aggressive play, but then the ball went out wide, and that one gives UCU now a 4 points lead. That is 4-0.
I think Nkumba guys need to first relax a bit and they process, and then because the errors are becoming too many. Oh, what a nice attack from.
Yeah, nice attack from Jennifer. She's really showing you that she's not ready to give up. And I love the fact that she attacked out in the previous ball, but then this time around she still comes on and she's like, I am still attacking.
I think
that is the signs of being a good player.
I think that's the energy all the teammates need. If she could at least help them psych up, I think they could also at least put up a very good fight in this set.
Yeah, that is it. And now we see a very nice service from Grace. And now that one gives also it closes up the points for Kcb-Nkumba to 2-4. Good service, good pick by the Ribeiro. Evers chooses to go for Praise. Praise comes with a dump, but Auma keeps that ball alive. And still Scovia comes in with a soft attack, but the ball is kept alive. Very nice block. Ball is still up, and what an error from Praise. That's a very, very big error.
Yeah, at this moment, such kind of errors need to be avoided because they might cost the team and the morale of the team.
Yeah, that is one of the things they really need to avoid, because you cannot dig a ball a ball you're trying to dig over to the opponent's side,
and
you can't dig it into the net.
Oh,
that's a very big swing, but then the block has come up with a net fault, as as we see from the second referee. But we see the attacker Praise was very aggressive on this. He was really looking for the hands, but she didn't get them. But somehow the block has touched the net.
Yeah, I think at this point the setter expects Praise to be a little bit aggressive, even more aggressive than the rest of the players. And the more she keeps feeding, the more she gets aggressive. Oh.
And then we see another service error from Novlin. UCU is trying now to make errors, and then I think Kcb-Nkumba will capitalize on them, because for them they are trying as much as possible not to have such errors on their side. If it is a free ball, it is a free ball. And the service, we see it is a little bit soft, but they are trying to maintain it on. A very
that was
nice
a very
swing
good
from
attack.
Praise. Yeah, down onto the line, and there was no one to cover that. I think there was miscommunication in cover, because there was no one on that line to cover that ball.
This is what we are talking about. Praise. She's playing a very big role in this game. when you look at the first sets, okay, she might have had some of those low moments, but in these last two sets, at least I've seen some bit of improvement, and she's at least trying her level best to at least work for the team.
Yeah, she's really trying because this is the set that she really needs to step up because having being in a decisive and being one of the best players on that team, like I said, she really needs to work out extremely hard and also give extra efforts to be able to push UCU to the win. And then Daphne comes in with a dump, but then very well read well by the Ribeiro, but she couldn't keep that alive. I wonder why Jennifer or Scovia cannot move to pick those dumps, because whenever Scovia is in 4 and Jennifer is in 1, there is actually no one picking that dump behind the blockers.
Looking at the scores, it's UCU 7, Kcb-Nkumba 5. We're soon going to the second half of the decisive set.
And that's a very nice block from Alado, combined
Wow.
with Tracy, I think. And it is the very first slide ball they have blocked. Every time Nancy went for that ball, she managed to score. But this time around, it was very well read by the UC blockers. That was Alado, the side blocker, with Tracy in the middle. And now that sends the scores to 8-5. UCU in the lead of this particular decisive set.
If UCU stays composed like they are, they might have an upper hand and they might take the 2 points.
Well, that is your prediction. I think it is still either way. Both teams can either can actually win this because it is still just 3 points. If Kcb-Nkumba manages to score immediately, they'll reduce the gap to 3 and they have chance of service. That one for ladies, when you have chance of service, you are okay. You're better off than for the men's side, whereby one who receives is better off. Service from Praise comes in, very good service, good pass by Scovia, and the ball is given her. She swings hard, but the block touch and the ball is kept alive. Praise comes in with an off spin. She couldn't manage to get that point in the middle, but then also Scovia comes in with the same attempt. Ball set into the net, kept alive by Alado, and a free ball to Kcb-Nkumba. Nancy comes in with a slide, and the block touches, but that's a block out.
It was a good block, though the point, it was out.
Yeah, that was a good attempt by the blockers.
Yes.
But they couldn't actually maintain that on court. And Kcb-Nkumba really needed this to break through that rotation and also have Grace come back to the front court.
That was a good attack, although it was recovered very well by the Kcb-Nkumba.
Grace comes in with a hard swing and she has the inside of the court. No cover is there and the block can't actually cover up that zone. And now Kcb-Nkumba, like I told you, they are just 1 point away.
Yeah, you can see Kcb-Nkumba, they are a little bit composed in such a tight situation, and they are really giving them a very hard time.
And we see as they still still fails to receive Scovia's service, and now the points are at 8-8. Like I told you, usually those points are very little for the team to cover up. I see Arthur says, let's go UCU. Someone is asking about the score, but it is up there for you, points at 8-8. And then we see Jude Abigaba saying it is always a side blocker to block that one leg. Yes, you're very right. And the side blocker should be able to read that ball very well, because most times that one leg is attacked back into the diagonal. But this time around, it is one of the toughest balls to defend on the ladies' side.
Yeah, you see you again back in the lead. Can they maintain this lead? Can they maintain this lead for this set and take home the 2 points? Oh.
Another one leg. Like Jude was saying that the side blocker should be able to block that, but it proves that Nancy is showing them that the side blockers of UCU are actually not capable of blocking this. We've seen one block done by Alado, but the rest of all the one legs Nancy has gone to, she has been successful. And now she goes into service. Caroline says the reception A has failed in this decisive. Yes, that is very right. I think both teams are struggling on the first catch, and that is why we are seeing so many free balls. And that was a very, very big hit from Grace, the free ball, very well utilized by Kcb-Nkumba.
And now Kcb-Nkumba back in the lead with the opportunity to serve, and we have seen their services are working for them. UCU has really failed to receive their services, and they are capitalizing on that.
Yeah, Nancy is one of the best servers also on that Kcb-Nkumba side, and very consistent. And now Alado comes in with another attack fault. That forces UCU into their first timeout, as Kcb-Nkumba is in the lead now of 2 points, 11-9.
And
And
we
now
have
that is the end of the first time out for UCU, and it is still Nasa in service, and Alado couldn't be able to receive that ball very well. Grace comes in with a swing, but then the block touches on, very well recovered. Alado comes in with a dump, but still kept alive by Scovia. Another free ball given to UCU. Can they utilize this? Let's see. That is Daphne. She also goes for a dump. Free ball up against free ball. This is something teams need to think about.
Yeah,
And
I
that
think
was a very, very
lousy attack.
miscontacted hit by Grace, but still she manages to get to the angle of the court.
I think UCU now they are giving too many free balls, and it's because they are scared of making those errors, and yet they are supposed to also, at least at this point, be aggressive.
Yeah, that is very true, and somehow they're also failing to receive. And we know they've been down whenever they are whenever they are being led, and now they are failing to break Nancy's service. But then now Daphne chooses also to dump that ball somehow. I think the set is not the perfect one. And that's a very big attack from Grace. She has shown consistency in that attack. Every time she's given the ball, she really tries to execute. And now Kcb-Nkumba is comfortably leading on this decisive set. That forces UCU into the second timeout.
UCU right now, they are down. They are completely down. I don't know if they can recover from this. Let's hope for the best from this time out, and we hope they become a little bit more aggressive and they stop giving those free balls. Those free balls are costing them so much. You can see they give out free balls and then KCB attacks aggressively, making them make some errors, for example, like in their cover or at least block touches.
Yeah, that is very right. I think UCU failing to actually attack those balls. That is one of the reasons. And we see Judah Abigawa saying UCU players are careful on attack. Absolutely right. They are no longer that going aggressively. They are too careful. They are scared of making errors, and that one is costing them. And then we see Uncle Sports TV saying, enjoying the game. Thank you, Malik and Sports family. Yes, we are always here to give you the best, and that is all the technical team, starting from Kenneth, Deo, and the commentators, everyone here. They are doing a very, very great job to keep you guys updated and keeping you up to the speed. But you see, you managed to get that after the timeout as Kcb-Nkumba loses the service. And that is a very good service from Daphne. A free ball to UCU. Can they utilize this? Let's see. Now that's a very big swing from Alado, and she really gets that one now.
Exactly. That is what we have been talking about. UCU has to be aggressive. Every chance they get, they have to be a little bit aggressive.
Yeah, they really need to stop giving free balls, because Grace has really harmed them whenever Kcb-Nkumba has gotten the free ball.
Yeah,
For her,
they
she has really
utilize
shown
it.
them how to utilize that free ball.
Yes. This second time out, I think Kcb-Nkumba, they want to also organize a bit, because they really need these 2 points. They really
Yeah,
need
that
these 2
was a
points.
very, very good call by Coach Tony. A timeout at this particular time when he still has an advantage of 2 points lead, and we still see Ajid saying that what Grace is doing is exactly what UCU players should do. She is careless on attacks. Yes, Alado has just done the same. She really came in with that hard swing on the line and she manages to clinch that point for UCU. And now UCU has the service and with 2 attackers front court. Can UCU stop Grace? Let's see. And still the ball goes to Grace. A very big swing and that's a very nice block by Evers and Novlin. What a block.
Wow.
From the start, I think this is what UCU needed to do. They really needed to identify that it is the outside attacker Grace that is mainly going to get the ball. But
Yeah.
now we see Kcb-Nkumba splitting the attackers, and now it is a service error from Duffin. What a waste! What a waste!
I think such errors should be avoided, especially in a late game.
Yeah, you really catch up and close up the gap from all those points. Now it is 12-13, and then you lose the service into the nets. You rather give the opponent's team the ball. And a very good service from Auma, and Evers chooses the backcourt, very well covered by Auma. And then we see the ball goes to Jennifer. She dumps that ball, kept alive, and as well it's another free ball to Nkumba. Can they utilize this? Let's see, off-system ball to Jennifer, soft attack, very careful by the attackers, and then it's another dump. What a careful play we are seeing here, very intense, and the players are on pressure. They are trying not to make errors now, especially Arado. Now we see she's still trying to go for the off-spin ball. Ball is still kept alive. Evers goes for that dump, still kept alive. What a play, what a rally. And Novlin goes for the dump and she manages to get that. Auma couldn't keep that alive. And both teams now are getting tired by dumping. Can you imagine?
That was a very good rally from both teams.
Yeah, we need to see these players still be aggressive. However much the set is ending, be aggressive on attack. We need to see those hard swings.
Everyone is trying to be a little
they are
bit
too careful. I hope. I actually wish Kcb-Nkumba they have advantage. Yes, they are already up. They should have that advantage and use it to swing and attack the ball whenever they had the free ball. Good service from Alado. Ball goes to Grace, a very big hit, and she manages to get that. Exactly like I said, you have the chance, please attack the ball instead of giving the free ball. And that one gets us to the end of this particular game, to a decisive play that Nkumba manages to go away with the win, but a very, very good fight from the UCU side. Nkumba takes the 2 points of the day, and UCU, they should clearly be happy for this particular point they've earned today. It is a good play from them, however much they started low, but Kcb-Nkumba kept with the composure right from the start. Yes, the start wasn't the very best of it, but they managed to keep there until the end of the game, and finally they are gifted with the 2 points after the end of the game.
UCU has played well. It has been a good game from UCU. It has been literally a good game from both teams. I think in this last set, UCU was trying to be a little bit careful, more careful. They didn't want to make those errors, so they ended up giving so many free balls. And Kcb-Nkumba capitalized on those free balls.
Yeah, that is right. And somehow their experience led them to this win. Perhaps they knew their strength and they decided to keep giving the ball to UCU and they keep playing their defense there. But also UCU showed some bit of winess there, like we shall not counter-attack you. They also kept giving them the ball back, and finally the one who got tired easily gave up on the points, because that is the play that Nkumba was trying to do, give you the ball and try to block you down. And finally they clinched the win. Stay tuned in from this game. We are having Elion up against Spotes next, and that is a very, very wonderful fixture to watch out for. Please, if you cannot make it to NSAMBYA to watch this particular game, stay tuned in as we get back. Thank you.